Hello and welcome back to our second and final video in this chill shirt for hands series. So in the last video, we have attached the collar successfully and even top stitched everything like a boss, right? So now we will be continuing the session by attaching our sleeves. Now it's important that you don't forget where to place your sleeves, okay? Remember the mark I made for the back side? Yes, that's for this step. Start securing your sleeve fabric piece at the center of the arm side, and then you can do the sides next. Now, the following steps, which is preparing everything for a neat, lovely seam on the sleeves, is going to need the most patient side of you. This is the method I use, but you can always use what you know is better for you and what you are used to. Mine takes long. That before I can even sew the actual stitches on my sewing machine, it takes about 5 minutes to stitch base 3 lines. So please, I ask you to be more patient, especially in this part, if you're following through. So first I stitch base the actual seam line to secure the right alignment. That's the actual seam line. Now for the second stitch basting, we're doing it just below the first stitch basting. And for the third and final stitch basting, we go up and around it, around the actual seam, just along the slitted seam allowance. And ta-da! My favorite sleeve sewing technique, which is running 3 lines of stitch basting. Yep, that's just for the preparation. Now, one more step before we do the actual stitches. I cut the first basting on the center or the actual seam or on that actual seam, so I can remove it and then I can freely sew on it for the final stitches. We're clearing up the stitches so that we're left with those just around it, the two, and then we can just easily sew on it. Yay! My final stitches are right where they should be. I hope you guys can see that. Yay, they hadn't moved. Now let's cut and take away the other stitch bastings, alright? After all those tedious extra steps, my friends, I am the happiest doll clothes designer to behold this sight. I mean, I hope that when you get to do this too, you'll be as happy as I am right now. Right at this moment. Yep. Now let's top stitch that sleeve seam to the body's part of the shirt. Here you go. Now let's try it on hands, just quick. Okay, let's do the same arduous but worth the time kind of steps for the other sleeves. Hands is back again for just a quick fit and to know where we're at already. Up next are side seams. So here you go. Don't forget to cut some slits along the underarm seam allowance, guys. Also, press the seam allowance flat and secure with a few stitches. Now let's do the other side seam. Alright, side seams done with underarms seam allowance flat. Now excuse me, but I'm just too excited to use these new pinking shears of mine, but really, you can leave out that side seam allowance since they aren't curved or anything anyway. I would recommend to press them flat though. Chicky pow pow, chicky chicky picky fingers. Then let's prepare for our hem, and here I am creating a sharp corner by folding this front panel like so. Then run a horizontal stitch at the corner to secure. Here they are. I hope you can see that too. Now let me grab my tweezer and pull that out. That sharp corner I was talking about earlier. And voila! Yes! Now it's gonna be so much easier to hem my shirt. See? Alright, let's flip the garment out and grab our model hands. Take this moment to check your work, guys. Enjoy what you see and plan where to put your snaps to. We're almost done, darling. I used an interfacing fabric to keep the lapel sturdy, but you can always skip that. Now let's have a final fitting with a guy. And since the video is almost ending, I would like to say thank you for dropping by and watching my tutorials. I hope you had fun as well as picked up a few miniature sewing tricks here. See you on our next project. One more. One more. Oh my gosh. See you on our next project. Me and Hans now signing off.